Alright guys, so today we're going to be starting with these, and ironically, hopefully, we are going to turn it into a pencil holder. It is almost the end of the school year, so I am going to make this as a gift from my little boy's teacher. She's a great teacher. She does a lot for the kids, and we just want to kind of show her appreciation, and one of her favorite things is art stuff. So what I did was I took these and made them into these. Just cut them up into bits. I want this kind of all erratic. I don't want it to look organized like some of the other ones. I want it to look like they're all kind of floating in there together, bits and pieces and whatnot. So we are going to take these and pour them into this mold. And then we are going to turn our pencil holder. So while I'm going to get the resin mixed up and ready to pour, and I'll come back to you. We're also going to make a pen blank. This is just some of the pieces cut down smaller, and I took a little piece of wood and wedged it down in there, and this is going to go sit on top, and I'm just going to lightly put some clamps or something like that on there just so they don't float up. But let's get ready and we'll get this thing poured. Alright guys, so we got the pencil pot, pencil holder, the cast in the pressure pot. We also put that color pencil blank in there. Hopefully that comes out. And I had some little bit of resin left over, and you know, I just put some Pearl-Ex in there and kind of mixed it up, and we'll see. We'll do something with that just like the other one. Speaking of that, I got it cut up into blanks. I was able to get a set of small knife handles out of it and a pen blank out of it, so when I get a chance I'll get those turned as well. So as soon as this is out, we'll pull it out, we'll throw it on the lathe and see if we can't get it turned. Alright guys, so we've got this all chucked up in the lathe. I'm not going to do too awful much turning on the outside. I just want to get it trued up and get it cleaned up, and then we're going to turn a tenon on this end. I tried to put a piece of wood in there and keep it on the bottom. That would allow me to use the faceplate, but as you can see, it floated up and I don't really want to drill into that, so I'll turn it on centers and just turn a little tenon on this end. And I haven't quite decided if I want to leave, you can kind of see where the resin sunk down, which I anticipated, so I might leave these. I mean, they're pretty sturdy. I'm sure they'll come off a little bit during turning, but I might leave these kind of looking like they're just coming up out of the resin. We'll see, but I should be able to at least get, you know, a small cup out of it. So without further ado, put on our face shield so we protect my beautiful pretty face. And let's see, we'll start out with this, and I've got it right now on the lowest setting. That's just what I'm going to start it out. I'm going to stand to the side when I start it. I guess it would help if I plugged it up, you know. Generally things in life need power to start. Alright, stand to the side. Alright, so Probably turn it up. Just, you can kind of tell what's out around. We're just going to take light cuts on it though. Let's stop it for a minute. You can see I'm only cutting on that side. It's getting close. Cut us a tenon down here. Guard loosened up, that would be bad. Tighten that up a little bit. Might have loosened. Grab my calipers real quick. That looks really cool in the resin, that little piece of pallet wood. But I'm going to grab my calipers real quick so I can get a pretty decent measurement on this. Ooh. Let's see. Looks like we got 77 mil. So let's grab these jaws. We're gonna open them. That's the wrong way. We're gonna open them up. Well, fiddly thumbs. Alright, that's as far as it goes. Let's see. Alright, so that's way too big. So let's see what we need. I'm going to stick these on the inside here. Alright. .62 mil. So that is what we'll shoot for. I'll put that right there. And we'll go back to turning it down some more. There. And there we go. Push that all the way down. It's touching. We're going to tighten it up. Alright, so there we go. We got it all chucked up in there. We're still going to put this up there for safety. It's just a good idea to take all the precautions you can. So Now that we got it all chucked up, let's grab our tool and go to turning. See how we're looking now. Still got a patch that isn't, but that's looking pretty cool. So once we get it all trued up, then we'll start going in here, cleaning up the inside of it. I think we need to take it down a little bit more. I think these are air bubbles. I can't tell. It feels like it's cutting really good. So I don't think these little spots are chipped. They may be air bubbles. And I did put it in the pressure pot, as y'all seen, but you know, that's not always a perfect process. I'm going to clean it up just a bit more because that, and then we'll go to sanding. Well, after I get the inside hollowed. So. I want to do a little bit of shaping of this. It's probably gonna end up being knocked down to here, just because this stuff's really flaking bad, and I just don't know how well it'll hold up. Let's trim this. Let's work on this a little bit, and then we'll drill it out. Pretty decent. I mean, they're pretty good and stuck on there, but I think it'll just be cleaner if I take the parting chisel and come right in here and part it. I mean, that'll give her somewhere in that'd be decent enough for a pencil. I mean, yeah. Alright, so let's take the parting chisel and come in here and clean this up. Alright. There we go, and that gives us a nice clean surface to drill into. So, what I'm going to do now is, make sure you see that. Yeah, we're going to switch this out with a Jacobs chuck. So, we got that fit in. Let's go get the biggest Forstner bit I got. Alright guys, so that's the biggest Forstner bit I got. It ain't very big, but at least it'll give me a start. Let's get this puppy opened up. crank down. We'll bring it all the way up to here. I've never done this before, to where it's almost touching. Loosen this, and we're just gonna kind of wheel it in right like that, and bore out the inside of it slowly. I'm gonna put it on the lower setting. So this is the first time I've ever done this, guys, so bear with me. Ready? Let's go. Well, that is this entire length here. So let's take our trusty calipers again. Alright, we'll loosen up, and this time we don't need no measurements, but I don't know if y'all know, most people do, but I didn't at first, that this down here is a measuring for depth. So hit bottom there. So we've still got, on all parted it down about here, so we still got about an inch, but we're at the max here, so I'm gonna hollow it out a little bit and start getting it down to this thickness, and then we'll bring this back if we need to and get in there deeper. Alright, I'm not going to take these walls too awful thin, just because thinner you take them, the more of a risk you run of breaking it, and this is my first one, so I don't mind leaving it a little thin. But this, I'm definitely going to have to pause a lot of my projects and make some better turning tools. Not better, but bigger. These are the mini tool sets, and for stuff like this, they just don't cut it. I mean, I'm getting so much, you know, I'm only a couple inches in there, and I can't get further in because there's just no more to it. So here in the very near future, you'll be seeing me make my own turning tools. But let's go back to the carbine, and we'll see about getting it hollowed out more. Stop and see what's causing me to catch in there. I don't know if y'all seen that. Let me see. This pencil right here started to come out. No, there it is. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna push it up a little bit. See if there's any others. I'm going to push it up a little bit. I'm going to take some Synthia CA, put it down and around there, and push it back in there and let that set. I've seen a couple other guys have an issue similar to this. A little bit of thin CA, put a little bit there on top. Spray it lightly. put some down here on the inside, so it's there. Back this out of the way. Put some down and around there. Alright, and we'll let that set up for a few minutes. That activator hardens the outside, but it doesn't quite do a whole lot for the inside. Alright guys, we're back, and I actually switched out my carbide blade with this round one. These are supposed to be a little bit better, but this particular one I made wasn't really made for the round one, but it seemed to fit. So we're going to continue on with this one and see how this one does. I don't know if it guy goes in there. Bet you because it goes in there like that. Alright, where's that CA glue? Drop him down in there real quick. And I can turn the outside, and the inside will be turned down to him, so it's alright that it sticks up a little bit. Let's do the same thing. Let me see if we can even get this guy in there anymore. Maybe with gentle persuasion. I'll do the same operation as the last one, because evidently the last one worked. We're going to give that a few minutes to dry, and we'll be right back at it. We're closer. It's about as deep as I want to take it. I'm thinking maybe I need to switch these blades back out again to the square bit and help me square up the shoulders and the bottom. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to switch this out real quick and just see how that does. And once we get that, then we'll come up and true up the outside and get ready for sanding. Alright, let's see if I can see up inside there a little bit better with that. Oh yeah. Right, easy cuts. So I don't know where that other camera died out, but we just took and switched to the round carbide bit, and we were just cleaning up this edge here. Now we've jumped to the outside, and we're going to clean up the outside where we have these two glued in. I mean, on the inside you can't even tell we glued them back in, so that's good. I've got this set back far enough so I can come in here and just touch these easily. You know, you don't want to catch them and have a big catch there that could ruin everything. So we're going to start just truing up and cleaning up the outside a little bit, getting ready for sanding. There's those two. Clean them up, you can barely even tell. Let's get it all cleaned up. I think that's some of the better turning I've done. I mean, it's still not quite what I've seen other people do, but it is good. So I'm just going to take it and hit it with some rough grit sandpaper. At the moment, we're going to take it to high grit. And one of the issues that I've heard happening with this is the actual pencil, the color part on the inside will start to smear, and I think that's just on the higher grits. But what we'll do is we'll take it, we'll hit it with the high grit first, the real coarse stuff, and see how that's coming out. Alright guys, so I'm going to take this up through the grits. I'm not going to expect you to sit here and watch me sand, because sanding's pretty boring, but I'll come back when we're ready to do some polishing and look at the final finish of it. But I'll get back to y'all shortly. Alright guys, so I got it sanded up to 600, and there was a lot of sanding with this clear resin. To get a really good finish, you gotta, well, you don't have to, but it's best you spin it and sand it like that, then you turn it off and you come back and sand it in the opposite direction to get all the lines out, and then you do with the next grit. And it's a lot of work, but it makes it well worth it. So I'm just gonna take rag real quick, or a paper towel, put a little bit of acetone on it and wipe it off, and it'll kind of give you an idea of what it'll look like finished. Alright, so what we're going to do now is get this thing parted off back here. I'll sand down the bottom, and I'm just going to take a high gloss lacquer and spray it. I like to take the micro mesh pads and really shine it up, get it to a higher grit, and then put a polish on it. But I don't have any micro mesh pads left, and I want to get this done and get it over to her, because we're approaching the end of our school year. So I'm just going to take a parting tool and come down here and carefully try and part this thing off. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. Let's see if I can get this a little bit closer. I got a little nick on it right there, but that ought to be alright. I'm just going to take some sanding and get it to where it'll set flat on a table. But right there, guys, that looks pretty good for my first time. You look down inside of there. I didn't want this plug to be here. I wanted some pencils and acrylic, but since it floated up on me, I didn't want to make it any shorter because I thought it was already, you know, the right size. Let's see. Pencil is right here. You know, that's decent for a pencil holder. I mean, it could be a little bit better, but it's just something neat to say thank you. So let's get this bottom finished up, and we'll get the spray lacquer put on it. Alright guys, so here it is with its first coat of lacquer on it. I think it's coming out pretty good. I'll probably end up putting a couple more coats of lacquer on it, just to make sure it's good and sealed and everything. But thank y'all for following along with me, guys. This is the first cup holder type thing, pencil holder thing I've ever done. I think it went pretty well, considering that normally my resin or acrylic videos or projects go as failures. So I'm really happy with the way this turned out. You know, I had to do quite a bit of sanding, but that's alright. It all comes with time and technique and learning how. I mean, you don't just wake up one day and instantly good at it. So all about the practice, and I'm really liking how this is coming out. I can't wait to turn the pens, the blanks for the pens. So, and I also got a new style pen, so I can't wait to do that. But y'all have a blessed day, guys. I'll see you on the next one. And